Tonight, the Territory's new administrator named as the chief tries to laugh off a rift in the party. No more chances, the fallen NRL star who'll spend Christmas behind bars. It's official, August was a record breaker, so what's in store for the build-up? 20 years on, Diana's boys remember the life and legacy of their mother. And your first look inside the Top End's latest shopping mecca.
This is 9 News with Kathleen Gazzola.
Good evening. Speculation of a rift in Labor is not dying down, especially after the Chief Minister today laughed his way through a response to a question about one of his ministers' loyalty. It came on what was a historic day, with Vicky O'Halloran named as the 22nd Administrator of the Northern Territory. She came to the Northern Territory almost 30 years ago and fell in love.
The people of the Northern Territory are second to none. They're friendly, they're ambitious, they're hardworking, all of those traits that we look for that make for great human beings.
And its Territorians, Vicky O'Halloran has dedicated her life to, working at Somerville Community Services.
It's been an absolute honour to work with people with disabilities, provide family support services, financial counselling services, homelessness services, and my opportunity in this role to continue that connection is very important to me.
Now, from October, she'll take on another role, Administrator of the Northern Territory, taking over the position from John Hardy.
And I know that they've conducted themselves with considerable grace in the job. I think it's important in welcoming Vicky to also thank John and Marie.
One person Michael Gunner isn't thanking is his Primary Industries Minister. Ken Vowles has fuelled speculation of division within Labor when he wouldn't answer this question yesterday.
Do you think he's a strong leader?
He's the Chief Minister, Hayley, and as a Cabinet Minister, I report to the Chief Minister.
Today, Mr Gunner tried to play it down by laughing it off.
Sometimes you don't answer questions well, no, but
Is it
it's
a
all
simple
good.
question, though?
Yeah. I'm very confident in my relationship with Kenny. I know Kenny and I get on well, and he said yesterday, sorry boss mate, I stuffed that one up. So, that happens occasionally.
Disgraced former NRL player Joel Romolo will spend Christmas behind bars after being caught driving dangerously while high on ice. The judge said the 28-year-old had been given enough chances and it was time for him to face the consequences. He was the hard-hitting NRL hooker with a legion of fans.
Plays it for Romolo. Now playing the first try.
But today, Joel Romolo was back before a judge, a shell of the role model he used to be. The 28-year-old pleaded guilty to a string of charges, including drug driving, dangerous driving and possession of ice. Mr Romolo clearly has a problem he needs to address. It's the fourth time Romolo has faced a judge in 12 months, and the once NRL star has now reached out to the Men of League Foundation for help. He hadn't taken the step to contact them. He has now done that. Romolo's been in jail since he was arrested in July. Today, a court heard due to his profile, he's had a difficult time behind bars. In the dock, Romolo was visibly emotional as the judge told him he'd had enough chances and it was about time he took it on the shoulders. Only last year in September, we went through your history and I heard great things about you from well-known people, very well-known rugby league people, telling me to give you a chance. But Judge Greg Kavanagh said he kept falling into bad habits, had breached court orders and substituted his urine. In July, you were driving around, iced up, much to the danger of the public. I've got to protect the community from you. He was disqualified from driving for 2 years and sentenced to 6 months in prison. He won't be released until after Christmas. Catherine Foran, 9 News. Two wannabe Darwin Council aldermen have agreed not to contact or approach each other for 12 months after an alleged fallout at a polling booth. Carol Thayer and Paul Maston, who are both candidates in the election, appeared in court today, mutually agreeing to keep their distance. Catherine Foran joins us now with a look at weather. And Catherine, it's official. Darwin had its hottest August on record.
It has, Kathleen, and it wasn't just Darwin feeling the heat. The top end as a whole saw its hottest August on record, with places like Jabiru Gove and Tyndall recording high temperatures. Territory-wide, the mean maximum temperature was about 2 degrees higher than average. This, of course, comes after a record-breaking July, so it'll be interesting to see what the rest of the dry season brings.
The territory-wide is tracking at the warmest dry season on record. So that started at the 1st of May. Obviously, we've still got another month to go to the end of September.
And today really was no different. It was a warm afternoon in the city, hitting a top of 34 degrees, which is almost 3 above average. But it was lovely and cool this morning, with the mercury dipping just below 18. Chilly inland, Middle Point woke to just 10 degrees. It then soared to a top of 36. And more cool nights could be coming our way. When? I'll tell you later in the Bulletin.
Thank you, Catherine. See you then. The conflict with North Korea is on a knife's edge, with the world unable to find a way to halt the rogue state's aggression. Tim Avia joins us now live from the border. Tim, what's the situation there now?
Well, Kathleen, we're actually just hearing in response to the North Korean missile test that the US and South Korea have just flown 8 fighter jets and 2 bombers over the Korean peninsula. The locals here are very worried about what this means for them, and the mixed messages from world leaders about how to solve this crisis are doing nothing to ease their nerves. After the North Korean missile test, now America is firing rockets of its own. The US Navy shooting down an interballistic missile similar to the one launched by North Korea in a training exercise off Hawaii. It comes as Kim Jong-un continues to ignore diplomatic attempts to stop the aggression.
China has the greatest economic leverage over North Korea by a very long way. And so with the greatest leverage comes the greatest responsibility.
And with tensions still rising, the South Korean military gave us permission to head into the demilitarised zone on the North Korean border, where the South keeps a close eye on those living under Kim Jong-un's rule. For decades, this has been the front line of the Korean conflict. Hundreds of soldiers have been killed in skirmishes around here, and even in recent years, South Koreans have been blown up by landmines laid by the North. But now, just as much as the Southerners fear what could come through the wire, it's what might come from above that will do the real damage. In villages near the border, residents are ready to head to the bomb shelters. These locals say they believe Kim Jong-un wants to start a war because North Korea's economy is failing. Villager Lee Sam-young says he's not scared, as at 78 he's lived a good life, but he's afraid of what will happen to his children and grandchildren. Meanwhile, Kim Jong-un is refusing to back down, while Donald Trump is tweeting that talking is not the answer.
We're never out of diplomatic solutions. We continue to work together.
On the Korean border, Tim Avia, 9 News.
New South Wales MP Gareth Ward says he's been the target of a bizarre extortion attempt while on holiday in New York City. Police are investigating claims he was blackmailed after requesting a massage at his Times Square hotel.
New York City, a massage, a late-night extortion attempt, and State MP Gareth Ward in the middle of it all. The member for Kiama says he was given a number by an acquaintance. He called and ordered what he thought was a standard massage to his room at the Intercontinental. 2 African-American men taller than him knocked at his door. He says they were dressed casually, and it quickly became clear they weren't masseurs. He asked them to leave before one began filming on his mobile phone and making claims the other was underage. The man then allegedly said, "I want $1,000 or I will put this all over the internet." Mr. Ward said he told them he needed to get the money out and walked downstairs to the lobby with both of them. That's when he ran to the concierge for help and they called police. The 2 men fled before officers arrived. Mr. Ward then went to the station and was interviewed.
I just want to make sure he's okay, first and foremost.
The story first broke on the New York Post. Aussie lawmaker tricked into massage scam cops. Crikey. Gareth Ward said in a statement, "The claims that I was requesting a special massage are untrue. I requested a normal massage as people on holidays will often do. I referred these matters straight to the police and they're now under investigation."
At the end of the day, you are, when you're a public figure, obviously very conscious that, you need to be sure that you're safe and secure.
Mr Ward has left New York for Canada, where he is at a 3-day conference for Commonwealth parliamentarians with disabilities. He said he paid for the New York leg of the trip himself. The Premier said she is proud to call Gareth Ward her colleague and is understood to have privately been very supportive. His colleagues were shocked but also quite sympathetic. He told 9 News he does plan to go back to New York over the weekend to sit down with police and view CCTV of the offenders. Chris O'Keefe, 9 News.
Darwin businesses should soon receive more work under a local industry capability plan announced by Defence Minister Maurice Payne. In the new pilot program, contractors will have to prove how local industry will deliver capital works.
Enabling them to compete and to win and to make sure that local industry is leading the way in the defence work that is being done in the Northern Territory.
Locally, the program will be piloted off the explosive ordnance depot in Darwin. Darren Hinch is caught up in the citizen debacle over his time spent working in the United States decades ago. Senator Hinch is keen to be cleared by the High Court, but the government suspects he doesn't have a case to answer.
Darren Hinch, the human headline, worked as a journalist in the States in the 60s and 70s and received a social security card and pension. The Constitution disqualifies anyone standing for office if they're entitled to the rights or privileges of a subject or citizen of a foreign power.
I argue that a pension is not a privilege, that it's a, it's something I've paid into for 10 years. And I wrote to them and said, I don't want to be accused of double dipping, so please, don't pay me any pensions.
Senator Hinch is prepared to put his fate in the hands of the High Court, believing he'll be okay. The government's questioning if there's any need to have him referred at all.
It seems an unusual one.
And as the government tries to swing the agenda back to the economy and jobs and growth.
Very good.
It stepped up its case against Labor's economic credentials, part of a clear strategy to send Bill Shorten packing. Scott Morrison warning of fewer jobs, higher taxes and economic Armageddon.
Bill Shorten's New Red Labor, neo-socialism, the most left-wing Labor Party we have seen in generations.
And not for the first time, painting him as sneaky and snake-like.
If Bill Shorten gets to slither into the lodge, then this will be wreaked on Australia.
The more he rants about Bill Shorten and Reds under the bed, the more Australians will conclude that Scott Morrison is not up to the task.
Coalition insiders say it'll be a constant line and theme in coming months. Lane Calcutt, 9 News.
Hurricane Harvey has been downgraded, but the devastation is worsening across Texas as flood levels continue to rise. The bodies of 6 family members were found in a van which was swept away in floodwaters in Houston. There are now fears a chemical plant north of the city could explode and cause an intense fire. It was a scene reminiscent of 20 years ago. Princes William and Harry at the gates of Kensington Palace, surrounded by tributes left in the memory of their mother, Diana. The royals took the time to speak to the crowd of well-wishers on the anniversary of the Princess of Wales' death.
From boys to men, a poignant moment, just as they did 20 years ago. This was 2 brothers taking in tributes to their mother from an adoring public, lovingly placed at the front of their home, Kensington Palace. And Diana, no doubt, would have been proud. At these commemorations, her 2 boys decided to ditch protocol, instead opting for an impromptu meet and greet with the public, a move that she was renowned for. On what is an unimaginably emotional day for William and Harry, they still took time to shake hands, to listen, and to accept flowers and sympathy from well-wishers.
Diana embraced people, she would touch them, and William and Harry do the same, and they're like a breath of fresh air.
Today marks 20 years since Diana's tragic and untimely death in a high-speed crash in a Paris tunnel, a moment that caused an almost unprecedented outpouring of emotion from the British public. Diana was just 36 years of age then. Now her sons are themselves in their 30s and the embodiment of the personable kind of royal that she made iconic. Princes William and Harry were joined by the Duchess of Cambridge earlier in the afternoon for a walk through Diana's memorial garden at Kensington Palace. A dreary London day, for once almost fitting the sombre occasion.
This must be a day of very mixed emotions for Princes William and Harry. Of course, immense sadness at their family's loss, but also such a heartwarming reminder of just how much their mother meant to not only Britons, but people right around the world. In Paris, people paused to remember at the shrine above where Diana lost her life. She was then, and clearly still is now, very much the people's princess.
We won't ever forget her. Our legacy lives on with William and Harry.
And Tom Steinford is outside Kensington Palace this evening. Tom, it's certainly a significant day for Britain.
Yeah, and we heard about that woman there touching on Diana's legacy. You get a sense of just how significant it is when you see not only the tributes behind us, but also the newspapers here in Britain today. Some 20 years on since her tragic death, Diana's family still the front page of pretty much every paper in London this morning, and people will be reading those on the way into work. A lot of them stopping off here at the gates behind us to leave behind flowers and tributes. But it is behind those gates, inside the palace walls, that the royal family will today be getting together in private to mark this sombre and what will be a pretty emotional occasion for them.
Tom Steinford reporting live from London. Rural and Palmerston residents will soon be spoilt for choice when it comes to deciding where to spend up big. The $300 million Gateway shopping centre is almost complete, and today 9 News was given a sneak peek.
It's new, shiny, and about to become very busy.
The opening of stage 1 of the Gateway Shopping Centre will occur at 9 a.m. on Friday the 22nd of September.
Today, 9 News was given a first look at where Palmerston and rural residents will soon stop to shop. It'll open in 3 stages. The first includes Big W and Woolworths.
3 weeks out and we're on track. Location's fantastic. Palmerston's a family area and we really wanted to capitalise on that.
The project is worth a cool $300 million, but developers are confident retail demand is high.
In and around Palmerston, the population is still growing. 1,400 car parks, an assortment of mini majors and specialty shops.
There'll be a gym, daycare and somewhere to kick back.
It's got 2 VMAX cinemas and 4 traditional cinemas. Much bigger chairs, much more comfortable, more leg room, and they've got full Dolby Atmos surround sound, which is only at a few of our sites nationally.
Sitting on the edge of Palmerston Gateway Shopping Centre has been 8 years in the making. It'll create 3,000 jobs and ensure rural residents have more places to shop. The next stage, the pavilion's dining and entertainment precinct.
A collection of 8 restaurants set amongst some water features, and we expect to finish those works at the beginning of next year. We're investing in Darwin for the long term.
Isabel Mullen, 9 News.
The banned drinkers register resumes tomorrow, meaning after tonight you'll need to produce ID at any Territory bottle shop.
And this is a supply measure, a territory-wide measure in tackling the abuse of alcohol.
The ban will see 1,100 people already on the register banned from buying alcohol. In the news ahead, a clinic worker behind bars after a botched beauty procedure that left a woman fighting for her life. The little girl who disappeared from a wedding. Plus, Australians under attack from a frightening new cyber threat. Later in the Bulletin, expert advice on how to protect your family.
Get the news as it happens. 9news.com.au. Live, fast and free. When the news breaks, see it first, read it first and watch it live. More video news than any other site. 9news.com.au. Live, fast and free.
The block is a roller coaster, isn't it?
Get set for a roller coaster family Sunday.
It says family.
Bingo.
The ultimate luxurious living and dining reveals.
Sorry, I just have to go and jump on the couch.
Will the 3-ton floating wonder wow the judges?
It's got soul.
Will the great dividing wall divide them all?
That is so cool.
And a match point cliffhanger rocks the scoreboard.
I do have something to say.
Luxurious living and dining reveals. Sunday, 7 o'clock on 9.
Bacon is a right, not a privilege. Keep it real.
Can I get a Whopper bacon, any thanks?
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Once upon a time in Darwin,
Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch some tools and fasteners. Jack fell down, didn't break his crown, and Jill came smiling after. You don't need to be in a land far, far away to get your tools and fasteners. We're local. We're NTF. You'll find Australia's most trusted brands such as Buildex, Ramsed, Makita and Milwaukee. Great range, friendly service and quality products at an affordable price. Shop in store or now online. Buy local. Buy NTF. Coolalingga and Berrima.
Have you ever been to the Darwin River Tavern? With its manicured lawns, stunning surrounds and so much to see, it's the perfect family venue with amazing food to suit everyone's taste and budget. Only a short 20-minute drive from Palmerston, it's closer than you think. The Darwin River Tavern. Be amazed.
Enjoy this week's fresh specials at Woolworths.
Like 100% Australian-grown strawberries, now just $1.50 a punnet. They're sweet, juicy and at the peak of their season.
That's why I picked Woolies. What's my line again? As a local still dealer, I've got lots of mates and they're all good customers. They trust me to do the right thing by them, but that's what mates do. But we want more, so that's why we're giving everyone mates rates.
This Father's Day, give Dad a steal with mates rates for dads. Chainsaws from just $2.49, blowers from $2.69, hedge trimmers from $2.99, cleaners from only $1.99 and grass trimmers from $1.79. Mates rates for dads, now on at the Big Mower, Coolalingga and Winnellie.
A Chinese cosmetic therapist is at the centre of a major police investigation, accused of performing a botched breast enlargement on one of her own colleagues, leaving her fighting for life. The Sydney clinic was closed today as a court was told the therapist wasn't qualified and had been in Australia for less than a week.
Jean Huang's life hangs in the balance. The 35-year-old is unresponsive in intensive care at the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital, all because she wanted a fuller bust. Yesterday afternoon, she went into cardiac arrest while under anaesthetic to receive breast fillers at the Medi Beauty Clinic.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you tell me what happened in there?
Actually, I don't know. Sorry.
Police arrested 33-year-old staff member Ji Shao at the scene. After being questioned overnight, she was charged with using poison so as to endanger life, along with recklessly causing grievous bodily harm. Each offence carries the possibility of 10 years jail. Police will allege the victim was given a cocktail of the drugs tramadol and lidocaine, administered through a catheter and drip, as well as injections in her chest and breasts. All this when the prosecution claims Shao is not even licensed to practice in New South Wales. Today in court, Shao's defence lawyer said her client is a Chinese national who arrived in Australia just 5 days ago with 2 passports, one of which included a travel visa. Ms Shao had studied dermatology at Guangdong Medical University before enrolling in health sciences somewhere in Great Britain. She was booked to fly home to China today. The magistrate denied the beauty worker bail, fearing she could interfere with witnesses or evidence and may flee the country or harm others by practising medicine. Gabrielle Boyle, 9 News.
Dozens are feared dead after a building collapsed in Mumbai's busy commercial district. 7 bodies have so far been pulled from the rubble as rescue teams continue to search for survivors. Police suspect recent heavy rain could have weakened the structure. Police in France have stepped up their search for a little girl who vanished from a wedding party in the French Alps. The 9-year-old was at the reception with her parents when she suddenly disappeared in the early hours of Sunday morning. Officers say each passing hour makes it more likely she was kidnapped. Isabel Mullen joins us now, and Izzy, there'll be a few Sydney clubs keeping a close eye on tonight's clash between the Broncos and Cowboys.
Kathleen, if the North Queenslanders win, they'll take a final spot, leaving the Dragons, Panthers and Sea Eagles to fight over just 2 finals places. You can catch all the action live here on 9 right after the news. Meanwhile, Semi Radradra is such a big part of Parramatta's success, coach Brad Arthur has left room for him under next year's salary cap, just in case the Fijian flyer hates playing French rugby.
He's the Eels' biggest attacking weapon, and the semi-trailer is ready to roll in his first final series.
He knows that he can be a big help for us to take us as far as deep as we can go in throughout the finals. And on the back of him, he's got it in his head that he wants to do as much as he can before he leaves.
Radradra has signed a 1-year deal in France with the option of a second. If Brad Arthur gets his way, The flying winger will be back in the blue and gold next year.
Simple. If Sammy wants to come back, we'll be able to accommodate him, and we've got some options there for him. He knows that. If Sammy's playing in the NRL, he'll be playing at Parramatta.
Parramatta can wrap up a top 4 spot with victory over the Rabbitohs tomorrow night. They'll be boosted by the likely return of premiership winning forward Beau Scott.
What he brings to the team in terms of, he just tightening up those defensive lapses. He'll be good for those periods where sort of take the foot off the pedal a little bit. He'll make sure that doesn't happen.
The Dragons must beat the Bulldogs to play finals football. They're expecting a bounce back from Josh Dugan after he was dropped for disciplinary issues.
When things go against him, he normally gets his chest up and he delivers, and he's trained really well this week, and I expect a big game out of him.
Jake Duke, 9 News.
And I'll be back with more, including Nick Kyrgios's Flashing Meadows meltdown. We hear his startling comments post-match, and the cricket great calling to rip up the coaching manual in the wake of our Bangladesh humiliation. Kat, that's all coming up shortly.
We'll see you soon, Izzy. Thank you. Still ahead, extended jail time for a pedophile priest. The judge says his offending had no boundaries. Dodging tornadoes, a hair-raising landing in some crazy weather conditions. And the hidden shopping mecca that also helps those in need right here in Darwin.
Get set for another Golden Point nail-biter. Who's got the golden ticket tonight? Cowboys-Broncos in a Thursday night footy blockbuster. And with finals footy on the line, North Queensland know that a win will get them in. Tonight, live and free. Then on Friday night footy, got it to Rad. Eels-Rabbitohs, live and free on 9.
I have a job for you. The transport is in there.
What the?
I'll be safer on my own. You won't last 1 hour without me.
My bad. You're bad.
Palmerston Furniture and Bedding September Super Sale. Gel Deluxe Mattress, only $1,295. Gel Luxury, Pocket Spring Support. Palmerston Furniture and Bedding, where price is part of the comfort.
What would you do for Dad if you want to share in 20 million?
Oh, no, I don't. The biggest shed with the most toys, like just as many as I could buy.
Taslotto's $20 million Super Draw Saturday. What would you do?
What's the secret to getting a home looking this good? Simple. Get help from the experts. Carpet Court is Australia's largest flooring and blinds specialist, and their team of experts help make any renovation or home makeover stress-free. Carpet Court. Love the look.
Better are your local laundry experts. So come in store today to see the range of washers, from top and front load washers to washer and dryer combos. Plus, we can deliver and install your new washer. Better deals every day. That's better.
Dining out in Palmerston? Try the Fork and Dagger Bar and Grill. Families love our weekend buffet brunch, and you'll love our steaks. Breakfast, lunch and dinner every day at the Fork and Dagger Bar and Grill. Planning a conference, wedding or special event? You don't have to do it alone. Talk to one of our friendly event coordinators. Our large ballroom and small intimate event facilities are sure to impress you and your guests. Ridges Palmerston, a great place to meet.
The Northern Territory has always been adventure territory. There's one place that's been supplying locals and visitors with outdoor adventure gear since 1977. The NT General Store has got everything you need to go bush. Whether it's camping, hiking and exploring, the NT General Store has a treasure trove of stock to get you going, and a whole lot more you probably didn't even know you need. You'll still find us where we've always been, right in the heart of the city. Your adventure awaits, but you'd be mad to go bush without seeing us first.
Get ready. Your exclusive first look at the brand new Star Wars toys. Only on Today.
Notorious pedophile priest Gerald Risdale is likely to die before ever being released from prison. He was sentenced to an additional 11 years behind bars, with the judge saying the community still needs protection from him.
He's a monster of a man who will most likely spend his dying day behind bars.
Society doesn't really want
these monsters on the streets.
Gerald Ridsdale was sentenced to 11 years prison for sexually abusing 12 more children during his time working in parishes. Earlier this month, the 83-year-old pleaded guilty to the 23 fresh charges, which included rape, buggery and indecent assault. During sentencing, Judge Irene Lawson said, "You knew at all times what you were doing was wrong. You knew no boundaries, on occasion offending in your church, in the confessional, in the robing room." Among the victims was a 9-year-old boy. You ranted at him that he'd sinned and needed to pay for those sins. You pushed him from behind and made him kneel at the confessional. Ridsdale has now pleaded guilty to 161 indictable charges over a 27-year period. His actions have affected 65 victims.
No wonder society wants to lock these people up for the rest of their lives.
He's been in prison since 1994 and was set to be eligible for parole in 2019. That's now been extended by 3 years, making his earliest release date in 2022.
Probably die before then. But he certainly should never be released, and I think it'd be wrong if he was.
During the entire hearing, Ridsdale refused to look at any of the victims in the courtroom. Instead, he braced his head in his hands. As the sentence was handed down, he had no reaction. Meanwhile, his victims wiped away tears. Stephen Woods was abused when he was 14 years old. While he's not one of the 12 victims in this case, memories come flooding back every time Ridsdale faces new charges.
There will still be more coming forward, and this is something that society absolutely needs to be ready for.
Madeline Slattery, 9 News.
Passengers on a Russian plane have had a hair-raising landing, their jet dodging tornadoes on its descent. The trio of twisters forced other flights to be cancelled, but this brave pilot took on the challenge. And while it may have looked scary from the ground, this photo shows the view from the air was just as terrifying. Travel operator Scenic Tours could be forced to pay more than $16 million in compensation after one of its luxury river cruises turned into a budget bus tour. A group of angry customers took the company to court, claiming their European holidays were ruined.
They were promised a 5-star cruise, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The walkers say they got something very different, and today they were vindicated.
I think it's marvellous, because it was a holiday we were all looking forward to, and it was a disaster from the start.
It was 2013 when heavy rainfall hit France and Germany, leaving cruise ships unable to negotiate the swollen Danube and Rhine rivers. But Scenic did not cancel. Instead, customers were forced to endure long bus rides and stay in low-budget accommodation.
We were just not informed at any time as to what the problems were with the river.
1,265 took Scenic to court, and today Justice Peter Garling ruled in favour of the man leading them. He found Scenic played down the significance of what was occurring on the rivers in Europe and had a continuing obligation to provide intending passengers with information about events.
It's a group of ordinary Australians who paid a lot of money thinking they're going to get a luxury cruise. They didn't get that. They knew they'd been wronged, and today they've been vindicated by the court.
Justice Garling ordered Scenic pay David Moore his fare plus compensation, a total of about $13,000. Other eligible participants in the class action are likely to get similar amounts, which means the company may have to fork out more than $15 million. That will be finalised at a later date. Scenic released a statement this afternoon which said, "We take nothing for granted and have continued to invest in our river cruising product." Kelly Fedor, 9 News.
Children with respiratory problems can now get significant relief. Hitachi, through the Humpty Dumpty Foundation, have donated a new state-of-the-art humidifier to Royal Darwin's paediatric ward.
Children had tubes put in their throats so they could help with the breathing. They had machines that went up their nose and whatever. Now this machine keeps their lungs ventilated with minimal invasive therapies.
The machine will help to keep children in the ward with their families and out of intensive care. Every year, millions of pieces of clothing are donated to charities around the country, and in Darwin, the generosity is no different. This week is National Op Shop Week, so we sent Georgie Chumley to check out her local store with a challenge.
Whether you do it down south, online, or at our very own Casuarina, there's no two ways about it. Shopping is a national pastime. Australians are the second largest consumer of textiles in the world, and when fashions change, this is where all those extra clothes end up. Before they get to an op shop, tens of thousands of garments come here to a warehouse to get sorted.
And this looks like pretty good quality.
And this lot at St Vinny's Depot in Coconut Grove is just 1 week's worth.
For the size of Darwin, I'm still very surprised of how much actually gets donated. And we're not the only charity here that does it.
So the question is, why are we shopping and paying so much elsewhere when there's so much here?
You could go to Vinny's and fit out your whole wardrobe quite easily.
Challenge accepted.
I'm gonna pop some tags, only got $20 in my pocket.
St Vinny's on Nucky Street is one of the best in the business.
Darwin is very generous and we get a lot of great finds, yeah.
And to prove it, I'm going to try and find 3 outfits I can buy for under $30. Look number 1, casual wear. A $1 top, $7 for the jeans and just $8 for these sneakers. Or something a little more formal. A $12 dress and $6 shoes. And a $10 dress and $5 shoes. So I might be buying all of the outfits, but I have picked myself up a pair of shoes, a dress, a shirt and a pair of jeans. And how much?
$25.
And the best bit is, all the proceeds go to a good cause. Georgie Chumley, 9 News.
And Izzy is back with more sport. Izzy?
Thanks, Kathleen. Coming up next, why this big cat is more than happy to wait it out despite battling the clock. Why cricket legend Ian Chappell called for a complete overhaul of coaching in Australia. And Nick Kyrgios bows out of the Open after yet another disappointing display.
So was allowing Patrick to take those hormones a mistake?
This Aussie mum helped her 12-year-old son.
I thought that I had to be a girl.
Change his body.
Patrick takes estrogen that had been prescribed for you.
But now, is it too late?
It's quite dramatic.
To take it all back.
You changed your mind, didn't you?
Yeah. I don't think it was a mistake at all.
But your boy's got breasts.
60 Minutes, Sunday.
Okay, that's 33 kilowatts of power. On Overboost, the AMROC V6 delivers 180 kilowatts, 33 more than all those other utes. The V6 Sportline Auto, available from just $55,990 drive away.
This just has to be the ultimate way to experience the Northern Territory's famous barramundi fishing. Your exclusive helicopter flight will reveal the awesome wetlands, landscapes and wildlife that the NT has hidden. Catching a barra is only part of the magnificent experience a Helifish tour provides. You can start planning your tour now with full details on the Helifish website.
There's a lot of history and family expertise in quack pest control, which is why we've been working on properties around Darwin since 1968. Today, we still invest in excellent client service with same-day response times and annual reminders. We're specialists in general pest treatments, termite elimination, new construction preparation and pre-purchase inspections. Call Quack Pest Control. Visit the website to see the patients we specialise in. Quack Pest Control. All our patients die.
Knowing all about real estate gives you the advantage whether you're buying or selling property. And with 2% capped commission on all appraisals and listings from August to October, that advantage is even greater. Call Gabby Sawyer or Tina Passini today. All about real estate.
Cheers, mate. A little serenade goes a long way at Macca's. Treat you and your bro to 24 100% Aussie chicken McNuggets for only $9.95.
Hi, my name's Stuart Johnston. I've been at Bridge Toyota for coming up on 15 years. I'm in fleet and government sales. Even though they're big businesses and national fleets, we try and personalise the service. The level of service that we want to provide, we want people to come back. We want the process to be simple. It's a win-win really. If we're doing the right thing by our customers and our clients, then they're going to keep coming back and seeing us. I think at Bridge Toyota, it's very much a customer focus. Each vehicle gets checked off by 3 sets of eyes just to make sure that everything's fitted, everything's functioning, the vehicles are clean, full of fuel. Basically, we want to make sure that when we're delivering that car, it's 100% right for the client. Certainly in the fleet role, you've got to be personable, you've got to have good time management because we do get very, very busy. You've got to be organised and you've really got to put yourself in the customer's shoes and understand what they want out of the business. At Bridge Toyota, we want to put the customer first. We do the little things.
Tonight's Sports Report is proudly brought to you by Harvey Norman Electrical. Shop with confidence. Shop online and collect from the store.
Geelong midfielder Mitch Duncan believes Joel Selwood will put the team first in his desperate bid to prove his fitness for next Friday's blockbuster final. Duncan says the skipper will sit out if he doesn't feel he can have an impact.
Joel Selwood made a brief appearance at training today for a photo shoot to promote Run Geelong. Ironically, running is the next box to tick in his bid to prove his fitness in just 8 days.
Known Joe over the last 8 years, I would have thought so, but at the same time, I know that he, would put his hand up if he's not right as well and can't perform his role. So, it's the ball's in his court.
The Cats understand finals experience falls in their favour, but they can't afford to rely on it.
It's definitely going to help. But at the same time, that excitement of youth, and we saw with the Bulldogs last year, like if you get on a roll, it can be pretty massive.
Meanwhile, the Swans are confident they're more than just making up the numbers. Having lost the first 6 games, they're now second favourite behind Adelaide to go all the way.
We've been able to get ourselves in the 8 and now we're a chance at 6, so we're in there and that's all we need to be. We've got a seat at the table and let's go for it.
Kurt Tippett is one of a number who didn't train today, but he's confident he'll overcome another ankle injury.
The bye week certainly helped out. It's come at a good time for players like myself who get that little bit extra time to get themselves right.
Gary Rowan is hoping to celebrate with the fans again, although not quite like this.
Just went to kick the goal and went to celebrate, but then the fence was coming a bit too quick, so I pulled up stumps and gave the crowd a bit, just jumped over and said good day.
Corey Norris, 9 News.
NRL season ends for 8 teams this weekend, so the NRL has sent an email to all clubs reminding players to behave on Mad Monday, warning they should expect to be tested for illicit drugs. A similar message was circulated last year, but Ben Barber must have missed the memo, testing positive to cocaine as the Sharks celebrated their grand final win. Losing to Bangladesh was the last straw for cricket legend Ian Chappell. He's called for a complete overhaul of coaching in Australia. The first issue to fix, our batting lineup's failure to handle quality spin bowling.
Rarely before has Australian cricket sunk to such lows. The skipper is stumped for answers.
I think we made a few errors, a few guys getting out ways they've got out before and not learning from the mistakes.
Steve Smith taking his share of the blame. He was the second victim in Australia's batting collapse, where the Aussies lost 8 for 86.
It was probably up to me or Davey to be there at the end and really guide us home, and we weren't able to do that.
Not everyone was blindsided by the Bangladesh battering.
Not having any real practice matches, not matches that counted, I thought that was always going to make it difficult.
But for Ian Chappell, Australia's issues run much deeper than warm-up games.
You've got to learn how to play spin bowling from a very young age. You've got to learn how to use your feet against good spinners.
The former captain believes our players aren't being properly prepared to face the world's best spinners.
I think some of the coaching is absolute rubbish. I suspect that there's a lot of coaches there who get their knowledge out of a book rather than from a personal experience.
Australia has 4 days to turn things around or face the prospect of beginning the Ashes ranked number 6 in the world.
We're a young team and we're a team that is hopefully going to continue to improve.
Luke Duffy, 9 News.
Nick Kyrgios has packed an entire tournament's worth of drama into a single match at the US Open. Playing Australian journeyman John Millman, Kyrgios suffered a painful shoulder injury, copped a code violation for a swear word he denied uttering, and obliterated his racket. After the 4-set defeat, he admitted once more he's not dedicated to the game.
There's players out there that are more dedicated, that want to get better, that strive to get better every day, that do all the 1%ers. I'm not that guy.
Do you see a time when you could be that dedicated?
I don't know. I always get asked a question, like, I don't know. I really don't know. Probably not, honestly not.
Daria Gavrilova dropped just 3 games in her first round win. It'll be a soggy pitch in Saitama tonight, but the Socceroos appeared relaxed on their team walk ahead of their World Cup qualifier with Japan. A win will guarantee Australia a place in Russia next year. All the action live and free on 9 Go from 7:30 tonight. Supermare Winks will wear earmuffs when she runs at Randwick on Saturday. It's hoped by blocking out the sound, she'll be more relaxed, which will prevent her missing start as she did last run. A win will take Winks' unbeaten streak to 19 races. Australia remains unbeaten in netball's quad series, defeating South Africa 58-52. Continues the Diamonds' winning streak over the Proteas, which dates back over half a century. And Kat, that's the day in sport.
Thank you, Izzy. In the news ahead, the latest headlines, plus under attack from the dark web. We reveal how to protect your family and yourself. How the Dreamworld tragedy took a financial toll on the Ardent Leisure Group. And sheer stupidity. A man throws a box of lit fireworks into a pizza shop.
Saddle up and hold on tight for a big night of fun on the Footy Show. Tonight, those exclusive with shock rocker Alice Cooper.
Alice has a Vegemite sandwich.
Plus superstar Billy Slater live on the panel. The Footy Show, tonight on 9.
Got loose change? You'll love our loose change menu. Come in and grab a rich, creamy thick shake for just $2 at Macca's. Get the power. At Tyre Power, you get the power of lower prices on a big range of famous brand tyres. So, whatever car you drive, race in and get the power of Tyre Power. Tyre Power. Get the power of Australia's biggest independent.
Fancy yourself as a runner or just want to get dressed up and have fun? There's a race for you in this year's Lottoland Mitchell Street $1 Million Mile, held on Sunday the 17th of September. Choose from 12 years and under. Youth, Defence and Services, Masters, Fancy Dress, Open and Elite. Lottoland will donate $25 to the Royal Flying Doctor Service for every entry received. Break the world record and you'll receive $1 million. Register now. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government.
Ladies and gentlemen, the NT Music Festival and the Beat Foundation are delighted to present the 38th Annual Beat Festival, Magic. This is the major performing arts showcase for Northern Territory schools. Come be captivated with a spectacular show of rock, drama, choirs, dance troupes, orchestra and more. Over 1,000 students from multiple schools performing under one roof. Plus students from Tongling Middle School number 4 coming from China. 3 nights only at the Darwin Entertainment Centre. Get your tickets now.
Talk your way around Australia with a Pivotel Big Bundle. $400 of satellite use and unlimited standard mobile calls for just $99 a month. Connect now with the Big Bundle. Visit pivotel.com.au to find out more.
Licensed clubs in the NT support our local economy by sponsoring and supporting local community sporting groups, schools, charity organisations and support services. They provide valuable jobs and provide opportunities for our youth. Licensed clubs are not-for-profit organisations, which means profits go straight back into our community. Are you supporting your local club? Clubs NT, investing in our community.
If you're the owner or driver of an unregistered vehicle, you've got a lot to lose, and you will face hefty fines, which could even lead to loss of licence. It's going to be a lot cheaper for you to check your rego before we do.
It's Spotlight's $30 million clearance. 30% off all kids licensed Manchester. All mode cushions $4.99 each. Plus 25% off made-to-measure curtains, blinds and shutters. Exclusions apply. Rush into Spotlight now.
It's a terminal diagnosis.
Will I be there for Harry's first year in high school? For Maddie's, graduation? Will I be here by this time next year? I don't know.
A very special this time next year, Monday after the block on 9.
Now to our top stories. Michael Gunner has laughed off ongoing suggestions of a riff in his party. It came as Vicky O'Halloran was named as the 22nd Administrator of the Northern Territory. Joel Romulo will spend Christmas in jail, running out of chances from a judge after being caught driving dangerously while high on ice. And it's officially been the hottest August on record. Territory-wide, the mean maximum temperature was about 2 degrees higher than average. The dark net, 3 words you've probably heard before, but chances are you have no idea how dangerous it can be. Police have revealed our new age smart homes connected to Wi-Fi are in the sights of cyber criminals who are gaining access to our lives in a way we never thought possible.
It's an entire world right under your fingertips, and you probably have no idea it's even there.
The darknet is actually a series of servers and nodes across the globe which provide people with a platform to act with anonymity, and primarily it's used by people who are criminals.
The search engines and web pages we use every day only make up around 4% of the internet, the tip of the iceberg. The bit you can't see, the 96% below the surface, it's called the deep web, and it's here you find the darknet.
You'll see that you've got a hub of activity across Europe.
Police can monitor some activity, but it's almost impossible to see who's doing what. The darknet is accessed through digital portholes called a Tor. They provide anonymity. That's why it's here. Weapons, drugs and child pornography are shopped and bought. Computer viruses are sold, hackers are hired, and hitmen are paid for murder.
Australians, like any other part of the world, they're using Tor to anonymise their activity.
And now police say there's a new worrying trend. More people are creeping onto the darknet just because they're curious, and more often than not, they're teenagers.
If someone was curious about a bike at Clubhouse, would they just walk in the doors and say, hey, I'm here, I just want to check it out and see what's going on?
Inexperienced visitors to the darknet can leave behind digital footprints, and it's all a criminal needs to walk in their shoes. Now, more than ever before, our lives are online. Even our smart homes are connected to Wi-Fi.
Not being careful about things, and it's quite easy for hackers to break in through a light because it doesn't have a up-to-date operating system, and work their way into the wireless from there. And of course, once in a wireless, you can then get to travel throughout the house, get in what information you need.
Like bank accounts, photos, your entire online identity. It's not surprising criminals are drawn to the darknet. They can hide their identity, they're untraceable, they can run their business and then disappear. With the right information, they can become whoever they like, even you or me, and we wouldn't know until it's too late. Police say everyone should be more cyber aware and always ask, are you in control of your online life? And when it comes to exploring the darknet, don't.
If you're not careful in what you do and you're not careful in what footprints you leave, there are those there who specifically will target you.
Rob Morrison, 9 News.
Qantas has changed up one of its most popular routes. The Sydney to London service will now go via Singapore instead of Dubai. The news came as the Flying Kangaroo extended its partnership with Emirates for another 5 years. Qantas boss Alan Joyce says the company is aiming to grow its Asian market. The company behind Dreamworld says last year's tragedy at the Gold Coast theme park has significantly impacted its business. Ardent Leisure is reporting a net loss of $62.6 million for 2017, a dramatic drop from a net profit of $42.4 million the year before. The park closed for 45 days after 4 people died on a water ride. The company, which also owns a number of entertainment centres in the US, has also reported 5 of its Houston outlets have been badly damaged by Hurricane Harvey. There's been an explosive prank at a pizza shop in the UK. An intruder throwing a box of lit fireworks inside the store in Liverpool. The moment the 70 firecrackers burst was captured on camera. Terrified staff pictured jumping over the counter and out the back exit. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Catherine returns now with weather. Catherine, it could be a little warmer tonight.
Unfortunately so, Kat, but we could see cooler temperatures return next week. After the break, I'll have all the details.
Get set for another Golden Point nail-biter. Who's got the golden ticket tonight? Cowboys Broncos in a Thursday night footy blockbuster. And with finals footy on the line, North Queensland know that a win will get them in. Next, live and free. Then on Friday night footy, got it to run. Eels Rabbitohs, live and free on 9.
The extraordinary day the world said goodbye. Those closest to Diana reveal what really happened.
Seeing Mummy on the card, it was in Prince Harry's own handwriting.
Kate Winslet tells the untold story. Diana, the day the world cried. Sunday on 9.
Is this really what you're craving, Patrick? Keep it real.
Could I get a tender crisp baconator, thanks?
The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Our Father's Day favourite sale is on now with great gift ideas for Father's Day. Check out these amazing deals. All fishing shirts 20% off. Every tackle box and bag 25% off. All packaged braids 30% off. And Yakamito Vibes 2 for $20. So for that special Father's Day gift, see our Father's favourite sale catalogue now. There's more savings in store at Camping World, Stewart Highway, Berrimah.
Knowing all about real estate gives you the advantage whether you're buying or selling property. And with 2% capped commission on all appraisals and listings from August to October, that advantage is even greater. Call Gabby Sawyer or Tina Passini today. All about real estate.
Battery World keeps you switched on. If your car battery ever lets you down, call this number. It won't. 13 17 60. Your local Battery World 24-hour roadside battery assistance. Phone 13 17 60.
Get ready for a unique, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build your future from the ground up. Introducing the Barclay Builders House and Land Grab, Southport Berry Springs. Massive 2,000 square metre block of land, a house of your design, and prices starting from only $297,680. And with the first homeowner grant also on the table, this is a deal you definitely don't want to miss. But you better hurry. There are limited lots available, and it's first in, first served. Get ready for the Barclay Builders House and Land Grab. Land, house, future. Starting from only $297,680. Don't miss out. Call Barclay today.
Hello. G'day. I know we see steel line roofs wherever we fly.
Yep, they're all over Australia.
But why steel line?
Well, they're made from Colorbond steel, so they look great and they'll last. And Steel Line are the roofing experts. Indeed, you could say they... on everything else.
Steel Line GRP, now supplying EnduroFrame trusses and walls. For service over and above, see Steel Line GRP.
Dining out in Palmerston? Try the Fork and Dagger Bar and Grill. Families love our weekend buffet brunch and you'll love our steaks. Breakfast, lunch and dinner every day at the Fork and Dagger Bar and Grill. Planning a conference, wedding or special event? You don't have to do it alone. Talk to one of our friendly event coordinators. Our large ballroom and small intimate event facilities are sure to impress you and your guests. Ridges Palmerston, a great place to meet.
Brand spanking new Big Bang starts Tuesday after the block on 9.
It pays to be an early riser at the moment. Beautiful, cool conditions as Darwin enjoyed its 6th consecutive morning under 20 degrees. Right now it's 28, but it feels more like 26. It was fine and sunny in the city today. It reached a warm top of 34 degrees. A chilly start inland, just 10 degrees there this morning, and it took a few hours to warm up, but once it did, there was no slowing down, hitting a top of 36 degrees, the warmest place in the territory today. Nhulunbuy had its hottest day this month, hitting 32 degrees, warm and sunny in Katherine, 34, while Yulara hit 29, which is 5 degrees above average. A few cold and dreary days ahead for Perth, 10 to 16 there tomorrow. It'll be partly cloudy in Sydney with a top of 18, while Brisbane will be lovely and sunny, 24. It'll be a few degrees warmer in Katherine tomorrow, heading for 36. A great day ahead for the start of the Red Centre Nats. Alice Springs heading for 30 degrees. If you're starting the weekend early, seas will be below a metre on the harbour. Variable winds below 10 knots, becoming north to northwesterly 10 to 15 knots in the early afternoon. The sun will be up at 10 to 7 and there won't be much movement in the tides tomorrow. If you are casting a line and it's not too breezy, take a look around Lee Point for mackerel and tuna. If the wind's up, look inland. Corroboree and Hardies are worth checking out for Barra and Saratoga. Garth tells us he's one very happy fisherman, and we can see why. He landed this beautiful 130 centimetre Spanish mackerel off Nightcliff over the weekend. A stellar effort there. Enjoy your prize pack. Another warm day ahead for the rural area, 18 to 36. It'll also drop to 18 tonight in Palmerston, heading for 35 tomorrow, while the city is heading for 33 after an overnight low of 21. It's set to get warmer with minimum and maximum temperatures increasing. However, the Bureau says we could see some cool nights again late next week. We'll just have to keep our fingers crossed, Kat.
Definitely, Catherine, thank you. Checking the day's finance figures, and our market closed higher today, but our dollar was down against the major currency. It's buying under 79 US cents. And that's 9 News this Thursday. I'm Kathleen Gazzola from all of us here. Good night.
This